So, do you think Hexagon likes us?
I certainly hope so.
Yeah. This is gonna go well.
Yeah.
Why limit it there?
Today we're talking about a lot of different deliverables that went into one of our favorite clients, Hexagon.
This is a good example of Anima Studios helping an account across a number of different teams and all running up to a huge event. Let's give a quick breakdown of like Hexagon. When we first found out about this company, we worked on a really small project for it. It was fun. We made something really cool. Snap forward like 6 months, all of a sudden there's a conversation around like, oh, we're updating the entire brand.
They referred to themselves as the largest tech company that no one's ever heard of. They're very much behind the scenes enabling a lot of other companies' technologies and products.
Part of the problem that happened through the years, the brand just started to fray and feel like really hard to understand. Their vision was they were calling a brand simplification. We have to make the brand easier to understand, easier to see, and bring it up to like a more modern aesthetic and standard. We're talking about what, 2024, we're all sat down in a room together. That was a good conversation around what is the brand, what are the goals, what are the concepts, and giving us the authority to just play a little bit. It was nice to move into what we call brand sandbox phase.
Sandbox phases of a project are really an opportunity to discover new good ideas via play. It's a little bit more freeform.
And what we use is Milano, put this big box together where it's all this play happening. Any partners can look at it and say, huh. The point of it is to drive forward a lot of ideas really quickly, rapidly iterate, play, ask interesting questions, and give people the space and room to say, oh, that might not work now, but maybe it would work for this.
Us coming in and creating a package of graphics and templates that all these different divisions, all these different pieces of the company can use helps solidify and make the brand more homogeneous and aligned moving forward. It doesn't matter where in the world you are, if you're using these templates, you're going to be in alignment with the parent company.
We took the visual toolkit and we actually expanded upon it more. Like we went through that brand workshop, we started ideating, scripting, developing a collection of music, voiceover artists, inspiration. Like we spelled out a lot of like forecasting and foreshadowing, like where the brand could go, what are some general standards.
We created a brand evolution film for them.
As technology evolves, industries evolve. The world evolves.
Honestly, one of my favorite decisions that our collective group made was having the CMO VO it, because it had a lot of like intentionality.
We focus on measurement, the foundation of progress. It's what defines
Kind of
us.
shows the humbleness in the approach of the brand, where it's the person that crafted the thing being the voice behind it.
One of the approaches we took with this video was to make it feel like you were watching the design be created in front of your eyes. So you would see like, here's the old Hexagon logo, we're nudging this, we're fixing this, and then ta-da, here's the new one.
That you see the slight adjustment on the curve of the G, and it feels very much like how the company itself measures and changes things.
Yeah, they're all about precision and measurement, and the tiniest details of their brand were very heavily considered and reinforced that message of precision.
We took on a project for the CTO's keynote. And we ended up probably having, I don't know, like 2 months to make a lot of things happen for their event, Hexagon Live. And it's like 5 acts to his presentation.
All the presenters were basically dwarfed by this giant wall of content behind them. We had this effect where you fly down a tunnel with brand elements kind of whizzing past. When you blow it up on that scale, it feels like you're physically moving forward through the brand. That decision in particular ended up getting picked up and used in a lot of other deliverables. really cool to witness how small decisions and a little bit of movement can actually transport the audience a little bit more.
What's interesting here is, again, we're talking about account versus projects. Like the Hexagon Live just became a showcase for a lot of the projects that we did that then stacked to being able to play at an event that then get played outside of the event back in like experience centers and other parts of their brand. A video that we worked for their internal team before they could even talk about it was humanoid robot.
As a motion designer and as a creative, seeing some cool tech product like this just begs for super sexy, super fun visuals.
Starting to come up with a product launch film. What do we want to say about this robot when we launch it? Like, what makes it different? And for them, it was around spatial intelligence and really awareness. So this idea that agility and versatility, the ability to move around a facility, the ability to move your hands with dexterity, but you need to be aware. And that was a missing component. Until AI could come in collaboration with NVIDIA, the ability to process information really quickly and learn and determine whether or not you have the pieces that you need, how those pieces go together. That is a missing component that has held this whole industry back, and they are solving that. That is their target, that's their goal. And being part of that story of like, how do we bring that to life? Then not only doing the cool techie thing, which was a lot of fun, and we brainstormed in partnership with a company called Boulder Creative out of London. Their team crushed it and was just really great to work with, where we're creative directing them, giving them our thoughts on how to keep this abstract and interesting, and them really just ripping through ideas really quickly, moving quickly, like kind of being in that sandbox mode. Then doing this other component, which was the making of, and we called it engineering Eon.
There's imitation learning. We show the robot, for example, how to grab a cup.
That was very human oriented, and showing the designers and like the reasoning behind, hey, we decided to use wheels because why were we using feet? Like wheels could have better battery life and just make a lot more sense of how things move around. Not everything has to be a human just because it's a humanoid. And we had people involved in that. And then we took the brand and we took it and said like, what would an engineer's notes on this look like as opposed to like the slick Hexagon brand? How do we redefine that and cut a new path?
That's part of what I love about what we do. You get to jump into cool topics and learn just enough about them to convey that message to lay people or a wider audience.
This project represented like years of learning how to get to this point where we know how to operate an account, and all this happened in less than a year.
Yeah.
All of this. Like our ability to get up that learning curve quickly, get stuff done quickly, work collaboratively with people that feels like we're part of the team. Literally, we've only been working with them for a year. We feel like we're part of the team, know how to run it in a friendly way where we get along, but also are there to push boundaries and not be afraid to say like where things could go in a different vision and learn from other accounts. That's really what makes it interesting. That's the winning recipe. That's how we can scale teams, have more people working on something so we can move fast and just like know what the client would want. So it is cool to see the power of what it means to work with an account where the work gets resized for a different use and then resized again to spread even further. And the ideas then like create new ideas and new pathways. That is really the power of an account versus like a singular project.
I think that's something we've always been really good at doing, and it brings a lot of extra value to our clients when they're able to recycle the efforts of one thing and effectively create a bunch of other content from it.